the doctor, the first thing he said was, type 1 diabetes will be cured in the next 10 years. He didn't say, Eric has diabetes. He phrased it that way, and he said, okay, and I've called Children's Hospital, and, you know, they're expecting you in the emergency room. And it was like, oh, okay. And right then, I knew life as we knew it had changed.
You are so beautiful.
We got a phone call later that afternoon that said, your child has diabetes and you will need to go to Children's Hospital tonight. Tonight? Well, my husband's not even home from work. And what kind of medicine do we need to take for that? And when will, when this be over?
It was kind of surreal that I just thought, I'm in a hospital, everything's going to be okay. They fix you at the hospitals. And my family and friends kept looking at me like, you're in for it for a long haul. And so it was hard.
You are so beautiful.
Packed up my little 4-year-old with his Spider-Man pajamas and had to call my husband at work and explain to him that, hey, guess what? He had no clue. And, we had to spend 4 days in the hospital.
And when I got the diagnosis, we were still in denial, and I felt so alone and felt, how am I going to learn how to take care of my son? And I felt like I've lost my son. And my whole focus would be, how do I get this out of you?
I don't try to think about what's going to happen later, because I'm worried. I just deal with what's now. And she's a kid right now, and I want her to be a kid. And when she's a teenager, we'll deal with being a teenager. And when she goes to college, we'll deal with that. And when she tells me about wanting to be a mom, I just think, oh gosh, that's going to be hard.
You are so beautiful to me.
But I also knew that how I reacted at that moment right there was how my child was going to view this disease. And so I was like, okay, it's just like a cold, everything's okay. We're gonna go to, trying to explain it to a 4-year-old.
I don't wish for diabetes to define her. I want her to be herself, be happy, be as normal as everybody else. And that's what, like any parent, I think I don't wish anything that any other parent would want.
What it was like to give my son his first shot, I kept thinking, I hope I don't have to do so many of these, that eventually they'll find a cure. And I felt bad for him, thinking he has to do this the rest of his life.
The most frustrating thing about diabetes would be that I can't make it better and that I can't control it. And just still thinking that there's medicine, so I'm going to somehow make it better. And I've got the medicine, so why can't I always make it in the right range is very, very hard.
Yeah, I want my kid to have a normal childhood. I want her to get married, grow up. I don't want her to take this as an opportunity to get out of doing things. And that scares me. I don't want her to say, hey, I've got diabetes. I don't have to do that. I want her to do whatever she would have done had she not had diabetes.
Trying to find ways to make him and our whole family be normal, was my main goal. Learn as much as I can about the disease and, try to figure everything out. And Dr. Kaiserman told us about camp, and he said that, we'd probably love it.
When my son was first diagnosed, like every parent, it's shocking. It's scary, it's traumatic. In the hospital, they told us that we needed to get him to camp that summer. And I thought, what? I don't even want to take him out of the house. I just want to go home and keep him alive. And it seemed crazy. you just feel like life will never be the same again.
I was really, really lucky because while she was in the hospital, Dr. Chinnock Jr. came and paid us a visit and stopped by our room, and we were at Loma Linda Hospital, and he said, well, just so you know, there is a place where kids can go with type 1 diabetes.
And I just did what I had to do and didn't really deal with a lot until actually after I came to camp and started talking about me, because I just take care of my kids.
I could just see my daughter get really comfortable. It's a super rare disease, and there's nobody in our community that we interact with. And you know, when my daughter, who's 9, saw this 17-year-old, I could just see her feel comfortable.
The kids have a chance to just enjoy themselves and be outdoors. I think that their souls are healthier from being here.
Emotionally for me, I'm at a state where I've accepted the disease. It's no longer, I'm not at a phase of denial, and I'm okay with managing it and helping my son manage it and giving them the tools to manage it, because ultimately I want him to become independent with his management so he could go to college and do whatever he wants to do and know that he's not tied to mom's strings. It's extremely instrumental. This camp has been so phenomenal.
Coming up here lets me know that she's not alone and she can be like any other kid.